Ours would be better if it was anonymous. Ours isn't anonymous, which is awkward.
Oh, okay.
And I feel awkward putting it in the bad bucket as well, because then you think people might watch and they might think, oh, you're making a statement, like, but I think there's still an answer to your question, which is we've definitely seen over the years that, like, when people join the team, it takes them about 6 months to gradually trust, basically, and stop some of the habits that have kind of been accumulated working in normal workplaces. So definitely, yeah, like, people are kind of find it hard to be honest. You know, it's all a bit happy and nice and not very direct and not brutal. It's nice to think there's this environment where people are always having adult conversations, but the flip side of it is you cannot go to the boss of that person and say, XYZ is really pissing me off, and then they'll have that conversation for you. Like, you're encouraged to have that conversation yourself, which moves most of us to the point of, you know, physical shaking. So there's a dark underbelly to Nixon McInnes, and I think we do well to get that across in the recruitment process. But otherwise, I think we do quite well, because I think it all sounds quite appealing as a package. So all of my family work in publishing. So like, my mum works in publishing, my sister works in publishing, my uncle illustrates for publishing, my cousin works in publishing, and so there's, like, growing up at home was like a house full of books. So we're like big readers, and then it's like one of those cheesy, like, write down things you'd like to do before you die. And, like, writing a book has always been on that list for me, and probably quite close to the top. So when I got the chance and like the offer came up, I was like, shit, yeah, life goal, tick.
And how did you get the offer then? What was that?
I was in the Theatre Royal watching Stomp with my children,
Right.
And at the end, like, the lights went up, and this guy leaned over and he went, "Are you Will McInnes?" And I was like, "Yes, I'm fucking famous! This is amazing! This never happens!" And then he's like, he'd seen my TEDx.
Sent you with a ring.
Yeah. My wife, not heaven. No,
Sorry.
I did a TEDx talk at the first Brighton TEDx, and what publishers do in this new world is, like, publishers are coming to terms with everything we've been talking about. So publishers are basically looking for people who have something to say and have digital networks. And so they were like, that's an interesting message about how business needs to reinvent itself. Oh, look, he works for a social media agency, he's got some followers on Twitter, that must be able to sell some books. So they basically said, could you come up with some ideas to write a book? And I wrote some really good ideas, and the last one on the list was, or I could write a book about the TEDx talk. And the guy, like, listened to all the ideas, like, yeah, that's okay. And then I went, or I could just do that. He's like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So why didn't you just tell me that in the first place? But, so that was it, and, you know, I wrote it quite quickly. Really enjoyed writing a book. If you get a chance and you think you might like it, do it, because it was really good fun. Wicked, man, loved it. It's quite intense. I came down the words. I've got some tips for any would-be writers about how to do that. A really good software package called Scrivener, which is developed here in the UK, some nods. But it's got a word count tool. Not only is it really cool, it's got a word count tool. And you can say, I want to write 2,000 words each sitting, and it gives you a little progress bar, and I'm very motivated by stupid little things like that. So I wouldn't let myself leave until that was green. And then I listened to dance music of a particular kind of rhythmic type that would just get me into a state of flow, and I could just write, man. I don't think you have to. I think you can pick and choose.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be as webby as a book could be.
Yeah.
So, like, every section's got loads of further reading, because it strikes me that if you're an internet person, you know that the best content is never going to be in one place, it's going to be in many places. So to some extent, each chapter is an attempt to go for a subject, but then give you lots of other reading resources or videos to watch and stuff like that. So. I went to Moscow not so long ago, and the experience and shock of going to Moscow made me realise how little I know about the rest of the world. And I'm quite an insular little kind of hick living in the town I grew up in. So yeah, whoa, it's massive. I don't know. I think you're on, I don't know, massive thing. As I understand it, what little I know, that is not the direction they're going in.